So here the samples have just come through the hatch from the other side. So each sample arrives, it has its unique own barcode on it, and it arrives double bagged when it first comes through the hatch. I'm Zoe, I'm the laboratory shift manager here at the Milton Keynes Lighthouse Labs. So here we have Tom, one of our lab operators. Whenever we unbag the samples, we do it inside a biosafety cabinet. This is for our own safety because we need to protect ourselves from potentially live virus. So he unbags the samples. There are a couple of checks he needs to make. He makes sure that the sample is viable for our automation process. He checks that there's enough liquid in the tube and that the barcode is positioned correctly. First step in our process is to deactivate any potentially live virus. Here the technician picks up the pipette tips. It then pipettes some of the sample from the sample tube on the deck, and then it will add it to the deep well plate full of the deactivating buffer. It will then mix the sample with the buffer to make sure any live virus is completely killed before we remove it from the biosafety cabinet. So here we have our deactivated samples, and we want to prepare them for RNA extraction. So RNA is kind of like the DNA that we pull from the swab of the source tube. So then add what's called phage. So this is a control for every single well. So at the moment we're doing this step manually, but as we start to ramp up to a higher volume of samples, we will then start to automate this. So this is our RNA extraction platform. So here this is where the machine uses magnets to extract the RNA. It then washes the RNA in these wash plates, which we also prepare on site. Once the RNA has been extracted, we then place it on ice inside an insulated bucket to keep it stable. This machine prepares the samples for PCR. PCR is polymerase chain reaction. It amplifies the genes so that we can see if the genes related to COVID are present in the samples. So once the plates are prepared for PCR, the plates go back on ice and they go through this hatch, through to the room where we amplify the genes to see if COVID genes are present.